Wellness Show, episode 82.
Welcome to The Wellness Show, a podcast on health and wealth. I'm your host, Tyson Bannigan, the founder of the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy. Join me as we get the latest insight, tips, and strategies from wellness providers, coaches, and successful, heart-centered entrepreneurs, and much, much more. Welcome to the Wellness Show, and we have the return of Lisa Carberry from Australia, and today we're talking about being real in an unreal world. But first, Lisa is a modern-day mystic who works as a transpersonal life coach and teacher, author, and speaker. She's guided by spirit to facilitate transformation, serving to guide individuals towards an experience of life that allows them to be responsible, engaged, aware, and loving in any given moment, regardless of the situation or circumstances. In other words, no excuses. Lisa uses her experiences, talents, and gifts to facilitate transformation and expansion for individuals, assisting everyone to be the change that they want to see in the world and opening them to the field of infinite possibility. Lisa supports raising the vibration, consciousness, and awareness of a global community so that we may all come to a greater understanding of our oneness. Re-educate your mind, engage your heart, expand your soul, and welcome Lisa.
Thank you, Tyson. That's a mouthful, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's well written.
Thank you. Well, it's good. It's good to be back again. Lovely speaking with you again, and all your listeners.
Yeah, it's good to have you back.
Wonderful podcast. I'm very honoured and grateful. Thank you.
So, what's this about the unreal world? It seems pretty real to me.
Well, it certainly does feel that way. The feelings that we have and what we appear to see going on, but what I'm actually referring to about being real in an unreal world is real is stands for something, means something. It's about the R actually stands for responsibility and responsibility. And respect. So it's about how we are responding to what we are seeing going on and what we're experiencing in our lives, and learning to respect ourselves fully. The follow-up part, the E, is about engagement or engaging. So that's about engaging with our lives, engaging with our creations, what we are creating and manifesting within our life. Our awareness is the A part, which is becoming aware of ourselves and who we really are, and letting go of all that we have been told that we are and told what we are to believe. The awareness is actually about getting back in touch with our own true essence and nature. And then the final component of real is L, which is love and loving. So approaching everything from a stance of love. How would love respond? How am I loving myself? How am I demonstrating this love towards others? And the unreal world is the flip side of that. The unreal world is the fake, the facade, the components where responsibility for actions or inactions or the creations that we see around us, it's everybody else's fault. It's not our fault. We didn't play any part in it. Well, we play some part in it, whether we are conscious of it or not. So when we become and are being real for ourselves, that unreal world is rocked to its foundations, and we're seeing evidences of that at the moment, that and have done for many years now, and we will continue to see the fakery, the unloving, disrespectful components of human behavior and consciousness are being brought to the surface as more and more people are awakening to being real for themselves.
Well, that's a nice statement. I know according to the Mayan calendar in the 2012, and the next phase we were going in was that the truth will be revealed, but basically whether we like it or not, and that the gap between the thought that's thought and the manifestation is getting shorter and shorter. So more and more we're learning that, we truly do create the world we live in with every thought, word, and deed, both individually and collectively. And so therefore we have to accept the responsibility quicker because the consequences are quicker, the results of not being authentically, in our true nature. So Lisa, this sounds like a program or an approach to life that you're putting forward so people can have a grasp of maybe changing their direction or how they see the world. Am I getting this correctly?
Yes, and I actually provide an introduction to the concept of real education revolution that I have put forward in my book, Transform Your Life, Transform Your Teaching, Book 1, Soul Speak, because it's through connecting and listening to the soul, our essence, listening to what that has to say and allowing that to guide us rather than the ego mind, that we can truly participate and engage with a real education revolution of our own in the world. So the foundation of it is in the book, and I share in my book my journey and experiences towards my own real education revolution. But it also forms a part of the work that I do with other people to assist them to embark on their real education revolution.
So, this is really teaching people how to connect with their true nature or their soul essence. So how do you help people do that, Lisa? Do you use different techniques? Do you use meditation? How do you help them come to this understanding that their mind is not necessarily at times their friend, that the mind can play illusionary tricks, and that our essence, our intuition, our guidance that comes from our soul is really can and could become, and maybe even should become, but although that's a value statement, our guiding force.
Well, it is a combination technique. I communicate with spirit. I receive information, and I'm guided very much by that. So it's whatever is appropriate for that person. I work with crystals. I'm a Reiki master. I've studied neuro-linguistic programming, theta healing, law of attraction. I'm an advanced law of attraction practitioner. So there's a lot of things in my toolbox that I have developed over the years to create individual programs. So I don't actually have a standard program that I offer, because from my perspective, every single person is unique, and every single person desires and requires a different approach. So it's when I'm in contact with a person, we sit down, we discuss, okay, what is it you want to accomplish here? And here are some tools that we can use that are appropriate for you. So it's a very tailored package that I put together for a person. It's not just a standard out there run-of-the-mill program that I do, but I do it via Skype, and I find that actually works a lot
that sounds
better
really
sometimes.
I love the fact that you do it, tailor make it to the individual, because as you each person is at their own stage in their development, and different tools in different ways may be appropriate for them. So are you using the book as sort of your syllabus or your guide? Do you have people read the book as well? Are you taking them through the steps in the book, or how do you use your book?
Well, with my book, it's an example. It's
All right,
my
it's your
example
story, right?
of how I was able to do things, and how my process. I have a quote in the book, which I say the real education revolution begins with an inner voyage whose milestones are self-awareness, personal responsibility, meditation, and soul assimilation. And that has very much been my process of of a real education revolution for me. And it continues, because although I've done all this stuff personally and come into these awarenesses personally, there are always layers to be revealed and going deeper and deeper and deeper. So it doesn't matter where we are personally on our evolutionary awakening, enlightening journey. There is always something more to experience, and that's in fact what our soul wants for us. It loves to expand. It loves to experience new things. So it's an ongoing process, but it's a process that if we want to experience a different human experience, then we actually need to embark on it to create that for ourselves now and for future generations.
So it seems to me that as long as you're in a body, you qualify, you're going to be part of this soul evolutionary journey. And so knowing how to use the toolbox of how to, open your heart and open your mind so that you can be guided is part of what would be valuable for you to move through life with more ease and grace. So you mentioned previous to this call that you're about to proceed on a journey, a physical journey as well as an inner journey. So tell us a bit about what's bringing you to this.
Well, it's actually a very interesting one. My lovely and dearly beloved mother transitioned last year, and I have been continuing to live in the little unit that she was renting. I was very blessed to be allowed to continue. However, that is coming to a close, so there's been a whole series of circumstances that have presented that require me to move from where I am. And I have always wanted to do a road trip, and I've always had excuses as to why it wasn't appropriate at the time, whether it be financial or whether it be because I have an animal companion, or, I could come up with a number of reasons why I couldn't. However, in the work that I have personally done, it's about, okay, enough of that. Spirit. I love one of the things that Colette Baron-Reid always uses. Spirit always has your back. So, and I'm actually reading her latest book at the moment. That's taking me personally to a deeper level. But it was a case of, okay, no more excuses. Just do it. There has never been a more perfect opportunity to do this. Your mum's not here. You don't have physical flesh and blood around you. You have a reliable vehicle. What is there to lose? Or rather, what is there to gain? So it's a very exciting process. I've been able to go through a massive physical decluttering. I actually have a huge bin out the front at the moment for all that physical rubbish, but along the journey I will be connecting with the open road. I haven't set a plan, a destination. It's just I'm following the road wherever that may lead, looking forward to meeting so many beautiful people along the way to share and discuss the real education revolution, to engage people with their heart, to assist them on their process of really connecting with their soul essence and allowing that to shine in the world. It's kind of like a mobile vision quest.
Yeah, when I tune into it,
but
I get the feeling that it's
along the way.
yeah, when I tune into it, I get the word spiritual pilgrimage is the words that come to me when I think about what you're about to do. Some people might do the Camino Trail, but you're going to do it in the car on the road. But and it seems as though other people will join you in their on their own path, their inner path, as you travel along. So it sounds very exciting. So how are you going to stay in touch with everybody? Are you going to do that through social media? Are you going to do blogs, or how are you going to do this?
I will be sharing my journey via social media, so with Facebook. I'm also on Instagram. I haven't really been using Instagram, but that will come into full use on the road trip, on Twitter, things like that. And I will also be doing a lot of writing along the way. I really feel that the time is appropriate for book 2 to be written, and that will actually come from this, as you so beautifully put it, spiritual pilgrimage. And it's actually interesting you say you mentioned spiritual pilgrimage, because somebody else the other day suggested and said, "Oh wow, it sounds like you're a 21st century peace pilgrim of the Australian outback." So there's that, and also interestingly, because with coaching, I can do that on the road, but there's not necessarily everybody I'm going to meet on the road is going to be able to have an hour of time or for a full-on session. So I actually had put it out there and asked Spirit to guide me towards naming a service that I can offer that is a combination, but it's a smaller contained offering that would be of a moderate honor fee. And I was given a particular name, and it was Matariki, Matariki. And I thought, that's an interesting one. And out of curiosity, I went into Google, typed that into Google, and it turns out that it's a Maori term for the cluster of stars known as Pleiades. And it literally means eyes of God or little eyes. So I thought that was really interesting that was the name that Spirit gave to me to call this service. So eyes of God, clearly I'm just allowing that to unfold, and it will unfold beautifully and perfectly as it needs to. But I thought that was a very interesting experience to come across, that's a service that or the name of the service.
I love that.
Whilst I'm embarking on this quest.
I love that.
Pretty cool.
Here's what I would like to invite you to consider is, why don't you do a monthly report on the wellness show of your travels? Because I think you're going to have lots of adventures that you could share. So once a month, we could share with our listeners what's happening in your life as you proceed on this pilgrimage, because you're going to be helping many, many people rediscover their own path. I say rediscover because most of us are already on a soul path. It's just that we've forgotten it or haven't been awakened to it lately, or it's coming into the foreground. So I welcome you to do that if you feel called to do that.
I would be very honoured and happy to accept that offer. There's going to be so many adventures, and as you say about this, we're remembering who we are.
Mm-hmm.
When we are born into this world in this human form, that's the way it's set up, that we do forget or go to sleep about who we really are, because that's part of the experience of remembering who we are. And it all serves to expand the soul. And some people, I just wanted to touch on a point with that quote, because some people, with the concept of the term assimilation, many people may think that's about conforming and just, one way of being, and we all work on that. However, when you actually look at the definition of assimilation that is out there, it's an act or a process, and it's a process of becoming part of. So when I talk about soul assimilation, it's a process that we're going through, that we really begin to remember that our soul is a part of us, and we are a part of that soul. In fact, we are that soul. The physical component is really an illusion. It's just a vehicle. But the soul assimilation is about bringing everything into harmony and allowing our soul to, as another part of the definition is, if I can share it, that the process of making new ideas or pieces of information part of your knowledge so that you can use them effectively. That is a definition of assimilation. And so effectively, when we are really remembering and reconnecting with our soul, we are then able to use that information and that knowledge more effectively in our lives, to help create the change and be the change that we actually want to see in the world. That's where we begin to re-educate our mind, engage our heart, and expand our soul at the same time.
Lisa, not everybody is as in such a unique position as you to begin a spiritual pilgrimage of really being able to shed your everything like a snake, your whole material world, even how you're showing up. You're willing to let it all go for this new journey, which to me is very, very exciting. And I know in this time of transition that we're in, I know for myself and others that I speak to that really we're being asked to surrender to spirit. We're asked to be surrendered to source. And if we don't, for some of us, particularly the empaths, it really is getting, it hurts. Let's say physically it hurts not to do that. We're not allowed to proceed in the world in the way that we used to. So I know that you're very empathic this way, and I want to sort of on the edge of this understanding. What would you say to people that are having this stepping from one world, the old world, to this new world where we do have to surrender? What sort of insight could you provide for them to help this transition for them?
Based on my personal experience, because that's what I can offer. Allow the feelings, whatever you're feeling in a given moment, whether it be frustration or whatever, or feeling stuck. Acknowledge that feeling. It's okay to have that feeling, because, you know, so much and so many times we're told, for example, anger, that it's not okay to be angry. Well, I challenge that and say it is okay to feel angry. That's part of the human experience. Emotions are part of the human experience. However, the shift comes when you cease to identify yourself with that feeling. So this is also where language becomes important. And along my spiritual journey, I've realized how powerful my words are, and I'm really considerate about the words I use. So rather, you know, than say I am angry, because I am is the identifying part. You are identifying as anger or angry. I am angry.
Right.
So I shift that to I have a feeling of anger. So that detaches that emotion or that feeling from who I really am.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we're going through other experiences, it's being able to say, I have a feeling of, or I appear to be experiencing, rather than saying I am. I use the words I am in a very positive way. So I am excited to be going on this vision quest. That is a very upbeat, higher vibrational feeling. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy to identify with that. So that's one little tip that I can offer, is to be mindful of the words that you're using. What I think it actually was Wayne Dyer that initially put this thing of what do you put after I am? Be careful what you put after the I am. So that's that tip.
I like that. I mean, when you think about the I am, it just is I am. Anything else is a conditional statement that really isn't you. You just are. I am. And, you know, I am happy is a feeling that comes and goes. It arises in the conscious mind and then is dissipated. So learning non-attachment to our emotions, either positive or negative, and realizing that that's not truly who we are. I know that's a difficult one for me to try and grasp and remember in the heat of it all, right? But what you're saying is, don't even bother about trying to contain it. Just be it, feel it, let it go. Don't be attached to it. So I like that. That is helpful. Like,
exactly.
Don't put hard on yourself.
For quality online wellness products, courses, and services, visit our sponsors, thewellnessstore.ca and the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy located at thewellnessacademy.ca. To stay in touch, visit us at thewellnessshow.ca. And until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.